Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, Daily Motion, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Saturday, March 14th, 2015, around 6:20 in the morning. Going to be raining out today. Highs are probably around 40, a cold rain. And it's Happy National Pie Day. And it's Happy World Math Day. Some news to report. The Boston Celtics beat the Orlando Magic by the score of 95-88. Celtics are creeping up to that 8th and final playoff spot in the East. And also the Yankees beat the Red Sox by a score of 5-3 in spring training action. This game doesn't mean anything. And the UMass Riverhawks hockey team blank Notre Dame by a score of 5-0. And they're up 1-0 in the Hockey East quarterfinals series. They play game 2 tonight at the Songus Arena. If the UMass Lowell Riverhawks win, they're going to the Final Four of the Hockey East tournament, and this series is vitally important for both teams because they're bubble teams on the NCAA Frozen Four tournament. If either one of them get eliminated, they're not going to be an at-large seed because both teams need to make at least the Final Four of the Hockey East Championship to be even considered. That's about it on the news. My first video subject of the day is about my first series of reviewing the granddaddy of them all, the WrestleMania pay-per-views, the WWE WrestleMania pay-per-views. And the first one I'm going to review is WrestleMania 1 that happened on March 31st, 1985 at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. WrestleMania 1 was a supercard, and this was the first big WWE supercard ever. They tried some other ones at the showdown at Shea, but they were just regionalized. And also a few years earlier, another rival promotion, Jim Crockett Promotions, promoted Starrcade, and Starrcade was a big success, and WrestleMania was a big success as well, including that they had it at Madison Square Garden. They had it at closed circuit locations throughout the country in arenas or auditoriums or theaters. And WrestleMania 1 was not on pay-per-view because pay-per-view capability wasn't launched until later on in 1985. And 19,100 people attended WrestleMania 1, and the announcers for the WrestleMania 1 were Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse the Body Ventura. And here's the card for WrestleMania 1. 9 matches took place. The first match was Tito Santana against the Executioner. The Executioner was a mass wrestler. Playing the Executioner was Playboy Buddy Rose. And Tito Santana won this match in around 5 minutes with a figure 4 leg lock. This was kind of a squash match. The second match was King Kong Bundy against, King Kong Bundy was with Jimmy the Mouth of the South Hard. They faced off against SD Special Delivery Jones. SD was a famous jobber in the WWE, and this was a total job match. The match lasted 9 seconds. Bundy used the avalanche and splashed SD for the 1, 2, 3. And that was it. The match actually was only about 25 seconds, just to hype up Bundy as a monster heel. They said it was 9 seconds. The third match was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat against Maniac Matt Bourne. This was a back and forth match. A lot of high flying moves by Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and Matt Bourne got some offense. But in the end, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat won this match with a cross body block with about maybe 5 minutes. The fourth match of WrestleMania 1 was Brutus Beefcake with Luscious Johnny Valiant, his manager, against David Sammartino with Bruno Sammartino in his corner. And this was like a very back and forth match, about 11 minutes. The ending of this match had Brutus Beefcake beat up David Sammartino, went outside the ring, and then he went after, tried to go after Bruno, but Bruno attacked him, and then Luscious Johnny Valiant attacked Bruno. All 4 men were in the ring. Referee just threw this match out, so it was a double disqualification, and this was a decent match for WrestleMania 1. The next match was the first title match on the card, which was the Junkyard Dog against Greg the Hammer Valentine with Jimmy the Mouth of South Hart, for the WWE Intercontinental title. This was basically, one of a decent match. The dog gets in his position and stuff, headbutt Greg the Hammer Valentine and does some move, but Greg the Hammer Valentine offense. And this was kind of a false finish with Greg the Hammer Valentine beating the Junkyard Dog 1, 2, 3 with his foot on the rope. But Tito Santana, Greg the Hammer Valentine's rival at the time, comes down and says, like the Hammer cheated, and the referee restarts the match, and then the Hammer walks out, and the referee counts the 10 count, counts out Greg the Hammer Valentine. The Junkyard Dog wins the match, but he cannot win the WWE Intercontinental title because titles do not change hands and count out to disqualification. This was basically, a decent match, but I would have had like Tito Santana wrestle Greg the Hammer Valentine for the Intercontinental title to blow off that feud at WrestleMania 1 because they were having a great feud in WWE. I don't know why Vince scheduled the Junkyard Dog against Greg the Hammer Valentine for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania 1. The next match was a title match for the WWE World Tag Team Championships. It was the U.S. Express. Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo with Captain Lou Albano against the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov with Classy Freddy Brassy in his corner. The U.S. Express were the tag team champions at the time they wrestled Sheik and Volkov. This was another back and forth match. The ending of this match was when, the Iron Sheik grabbed the cane of Classy Freddy Blassie and attacked Windham. Well, the referee was distracted with Captain Lou and Mike Rotundo. Nikolai Volkov pins Windham for 1, 2, 3, and Sheik and Volkov are new WWE Tag Team Champions. And then they have the interview with Sheik and Volkov with Mean Gene Okerlund, and Mean Gene Okerlund says, "You used a cane. What cane?" Pretty funny, and this was like a decent match. The next match was for the $15,000 Body Slam Challenge. It was Andre the Giant versus Big John Studd. If Andre the Giant won, he would get $15,000 if he slammed him. If he failed to slam him, Andre the Giant would retire from the world of professional wrestling, and Andre the Giant was undefeated at the time in the WWE. They were hyping this as his career could be in jeopardy. This was a culmination of a feud that started a few years ago, and it reached a boiling point when Studd and Patera cut the hair of Andre the Giant on an edition of WWE Championship Wrestling. And this was basically, a Giant Stud match, basically a typical wear down, this and that. Andre slams Big John Studd and wins the match, gets the $15,000, and he starts throwing the $100 bills to the crowd. But then Bobby the Brain Heenan, Stud's manager, grabs the bag and takes the money back. Yeah, what do you say? This was another typical Stud Andre the Giant match. Nothing special. The next match was for the WWE Women's Championship. It was Leilani Kai with the Fabulous Moolah, who was the reigning WWE Women's Champion at the time, against the challenger Wendy Richter, with Cyndi Lauper, who was the biggest female pop singer at the time. And this match was, basically what do you say, a women's match, back and forth and stuff, interference by the Moolah and Slapper, and the ending of the match had Leilani Kai do a cross body fly for Richter to try to retain the title, but the momentum shifted back to Wendy Richter, and Wendy Richter pins Leilani Kai for 1, 2, 3, and Richter's the new women's champion for the second time. What you could say with this match, it was a women's match for the WWE at the time. It was, just filler, and it was decent. Wendy Richter was one of the most popular female wrestlers at the time. And the main event for WrestleMania 1 was a great one. It was Rowdy Piper and Paul Mr. Orndorff with their second, Cowboy Bob Orton, against WWE Champion Hulk Hogan and actor Mr. T, who was on the hit show The A-Team, and they were seconded by Jimmy Superfly Snuka, and the special guest ring announcer was former New York Yankees manager Billy Martin, and the special timekeeper was Liberace. He had the Rockettes come down before and go around, and the special guest referees was outside the ring, the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. And the in-ring referee was WWE Hall of Famer, the first Intercontinental Champion, Pat Patterson. And this tag team match was a decent one, a classic. It was back and forth. Hogan and Mr. T and Orndorff and Piper were back and forth with each other. The stare down between Piper and Mr. T was classic and stuff. The ending of the match had like Mr. Wonderful holding Hogan up and Orton trying to come down and knock out Hogan, but Hogan ducked and Orton hit Mr. Wonderful, and Hogan won for the 1, 2, 3, and that was the end of the match. And afterwards, Piper got mad. He tried to attack Muhammad Ali and Pat Patterson, and Piper and Orton left their partner, Mr. Wonderful, hung out to dry. And that was it for the WrestleMania 1 card. And this WrestleMania 1 card was, a typical, a typical, what would you probably see at a Madison Square Garden house show around this time, with probably some of the preliminary matches and stuff. And the main event was like star-studded. They got a lot of the stars in it, with like Billy Martin as the special guest referee, ring announcer, and Muhammad Ali as a special referee outside the ring, and Liberace as the timekeeper, Mr. T wrestling. This was real good, and I heard that there was a rumor going around at the time that many wrestling promoters were rivals of Vince McMahon. So there was talk that they wanted to have Bruiser Brody come down to the ring at WrestleMania 1 and attack Mr. T, ensuring that WrestleMania would be a flop. But that rumor was never meant to be, because Brody was kind of one of those rebels for wrestlers, because he wasn't loyal to any too many promoters. He would leave town every chance he could because of either a payoff or booking decisions, plus this and that, a goal of Bruiser Brody in a future profile. And Vince McMahon poured everything he owned for WrestleMania to make it a success, and if it didn't, the WWE would not be around today. And the closed circus locations, once they got everything back, the results, once they reached a success rate of breaking even, WrestleMania 1 was a success, and they made millions and millions of dollars of WrestleMania 1. It was such a success. It continues to this day, and I give WrestleMania 1 maybe a 6 out of a 10 scale, because it was basically a very important card for WWE, and it was, people would think it was more like a glorified house show, what you was seen at Madison Square Garden. But I liked the tag team match, and also the women's match was pretty good, and the body slam challenge, and the tag team match with Sheik and Volkov against the US Express. But the rest of the card, you could pass on it, in my opinion. They should, in my opinion, they should have had Tito Santana against Greg the Hammer Valentine for the Intercontinental title to blow off that feud, in my opinion. And the squash matches were basically unnecessary, but you have to have some of them in pay-per-views and stuff like that. And that's about it on WrestleMania 1. Tomorrow I'm going to review WrestleMania 2, which was at 3 locations: New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. And for the next several days, I'm going to review each and every WrestleMania pay-per-view card. And later on today, it's going to be Laugh TV and Jerry Tarkanian. That's a person I profile. Have a good day, everybody. See you later.